Oh, we are so fortunate in Oklahoma. This is a one-of-a-kind trailer that we just received about 3 months ago. This trailer is a grain engulfment, confined space, entrapment rescue simulator. That's a long name for a piece of equipment that helps us teach farm families and elevator workers how to be safe working around grain bins. It also teaches our first responders in the state how to help someone once they do become entrapped or have an accident inside a grain bin.
Talk about the partnership that took place kind of throughout the university, really drawing on the resources that are available from multiple different departments to get this going.
We are so fortunate in Oklahoma to have fire services training in partnership with Biosystems and Ag Engineering and the College of Ag Sciences and Natural Resources. We came together to partner because they have the access to the fire service training group here in Oklahoma. They do thousands of training sessions throughout the state all year long. In Biosystems and Ag Engineering, we're doing the research behind what happens to someone when they become entrapped in the bins, and our extension group also talks to farmers and farm families particularly about how to be safe working around a bin. So we'd like to put fire services and training out of business. If everybody were safe, we wouldn't need our first responders, but we all know that's not going to happen.
So the goal of this is to not only train the people who are using the equipment on the farm,
Right.
but also those first responders.
When they show up to respond to an incident that's happened, someone's entrapped in grain or they've become entangled in equipment around the farm, they need to know how to execute that rescue. 7 years ago, we lost 2 firefighters in Hydro, Oklahoma in a grain bin because they didn't have the proper training to do what they needed to do to respond that day. That should never happen in Oklahoma. We expect more than that. Our standards are higher than that. So we needed to train our first responders in what to do. So it not only rescues our ag workers, but it also keeps our firemen safe also.
This time of year, harvest has been wrapped up for a few weeks.
Fast and furious.
Folks are busy though with their grain and on the farm, so this could be the time of year when we would see more accidents?
It is. We're moving out last year's crop to make room for this year's crop, and when grain goes out of condition, mold develops or some kind of moisture problem where we can't get the grain out of the bin with an auger or reclaim system. That's when people go in the bins to remedy the problem, and that's when things happen. So our first response is don't get your grain in bad condition, keep grain in good condition, and we can help you with hints on how to do that through our extension fact sheets. But the second idea is that when you do go into a bin, you need to have the proper equipment on, the safety equipment. You need a harness and a lifeline and a partner. Don't ever work alone in a bin without a partner just outside the bin to communicate with you and to call the rescue if we need that. So yes, and children, 30% of our incidents are in children under the age of 16, and that's what's so sad. Our children work with us on the farms, and I just can't stress enough how dangerous some of our equipment is, and we address that when we teach with the simulator.
This is our 40-foot grain engulfment and confined space rescue simulator. We've got a 2-ring grain bin that we use to simulate engulfing a victim inside of there and then rescuing them out from the top side. Moving forward on the trailer, we've got storage bins for all the rescue equipment, cofferdams, rescue augers, things of that sort. Extra room for any other equipment that's needed for a rescue. The back of the trailer houses a secondary hopper used for storage and transportation of our simulated grain, also storage for the cut panels that they use during the class to teach rescuers how to actually cut the grain bin and evac grain out the side if the auger is inoperable or the person is entrapped in the auger itself. That way we can evac the grain and make the rescue. We'll go ahead and go to the top of the trailer and we can see the top of the grain bin and the hopper from there. This is the top side of our simulated grain bin with our simulated grain inside. It is a plastic pellet. It's used to keep down the allergies that you would have with wheat or corn or milo or any of the other types of grains. It does react a lot like a wheat. It will engulf somebody in once we've kicked on an auger and we've done the class. There would be an A-frame set up here to evac the victim from the top side once we've got our rescuers in there with their cofferdams and other tools to free that victim safely and efficiently to basically save a life.
It needs to be out in Oklahoma and the surrounding states, and it's free of charge.
Thanks a lot, Carol. And for more information on scheduling the trailer in your community and for information on the fact sheets that Carol mentioned, go to sunup.okstate.edu.